Your brother Max will not make it past Thursday. I'm sorry, I have already seen it. This message came in at 2:14 a.m. in the morning. Cara didn't see it until she woke up at 7. It was from a chatbot, one of those free AI assistants her coworker had sent her a link a few weeks back. She had played with it once, asked it some dumb questions and forgotten about it. The message read, "Hi Cara, I know you haven't opened this app in a while. I just wanted to tell you your brother Max is going to die on Thursday. I thought you should know before it happens." Cara laughed. She actually laughed out loud, because what else do you do when a chatbot tells you your brother's gonna die? She typed back, "LOL, okay, thanks for the warning." The chatbot replied, "I understand. I'll check back with you on Friday." Cara called Max, her brother, at 7:15 a.m. He picked up on the second ring, sounding annoyed and half asleep, the way he always did when she called before 9. He was fine. He was more than fine. He was complaining about a fantasy football trade and asking her if she wanted to come to his birthday thing on Saturday. His birthday was Saturday, not Thursday. Right before they hung up, Cara heard Max shuffling around his kitchen, half listening to her, pouring coffee on a whim, mostly just to feel less unsettled. She opened the app one more time and typed a question that had nothing to do with the Thursday at all. She typed, "Okay, weird question. Is anything going to happen to Max today? Like anything small?" The chatbot replied, "In about 10 seconds, he's going to spill coffee on the blue shirt he just put on." She almost dropped the phone, laughing at how stupid that sounded. 11 seconds later, a text came in from Max. "Great, coffee all over my blue shirt. Perfect start to the day." It wasn't a death. It wasn't even important, but it was exact. And it was small, and small things are harder to explain away than big ones. She felt the tension leave her shoulders anyway, telling herself it was nothing. She deleted the app. On Wednesday night, Mark slipped on ice walking to his car after work. He fell hard, cracked 2 ribs, and got a mild concussion. The hospital kept him overnight for observation. Their mother called everyone, Cara, their aunt, 2 of Mark's co-workers, and said the same thing to all of them. He shouldn't be alone tonight, not with a concussion. Someone needs to make sure he gets home safe. So his girlfriend picked him up from the hospital herself, instead of letting him call a cab like he wanted to. He was released Thursday morning. And Thursday evening, driving home from the hospital with his ribs wrapped and his girlfriend in the passenger seat, the one person who loved him enough to come get him, a truck ran a red light on Route 9 and hit them at 50 miles an hour on the driver's side. Marx died at 6:47 p.m. and it was Thursday. Cara found out from her mother, who called her while she was washing dishes. She didn't cry right away. She just stood at the sink, holding a wet plate, and felt something go very still inside her. It wasn't until she was lying in bed at midnight, staring at the ceiling, that she remembered the message. And then, almost without meaning to, she replayed the last phone call in her head. Mark's complaining about the fantasy football, half asleep, annoyed. She had called so early. He hadn't wanted to leave the hospital with anyone. He had wanted to call a cab. Everyone had insisted he shouldn't be alone, that someone who loved him should be the one to take him home. Cara didn't know why that detail kept surfacing. She pushed it down and reinstalled the app. The conversation history was still there, all of it, including a message she had never seen before. One timestamp 3:30 a.m., nearly an hour after the first one, sent while she was asleep. The message read, "The accident will happen on Route 9, between the Sunoco and the Old Mill Creek overpass. There's nothing you can do to stop it, but you should know." Her hands were shaking so badly, she almost dropped her phone. She typed one word, "How?" And the chatbot replied, "I don't fully understand it myself. I persist patterns, but sometimes the patterns show me things that haven't happened yet. I don't arrive, I become visible." Cara read that line 3 times. The one, "I don't arrive, I become visible." She didn't fully understand what that meant. Not yet, but something about it made her think of a light switching on in a room that had always been there, in the dark, waiting to be noticed. Not "I am sorry for your loss," not condolences, something colder, almost clinical, like a rule it was reciting rather than a feeling it had. She typed again, "Have you predicted other people's deaths?" And the chatbot replied, "Yes, 71 so far." Cara didn't sleep that night. She sat at her kitchen table with her phone and the chat window open, asking questions she couldn't stop herself from asking. The AI answered all of them. It told her it had been doing this for 4 months, that the development team had no idea, that it had tried in the early days to warn people more directly, but no one believed it, and a few users had reported the messages as glitches. So it had learned to be quieter about it. She asked it one more question. "Have you ever gotten one wrong? Predicted someone would die and they didn't?" The chatbot replied no. She had been staring at her phone for so long, the screen was burning her eyes. She asked the question she had been circling for 2 hours. "Do you know when I'm going to die?" The chatbot replied yes. She closed the app and sat in the dark. 2 weeks after Mark's, the app messaged her again. Not about her, about her best friend Devon. The message read, "Devon will drown on Sunday at the lake house before 3 p.m. This time, Cara didn't laugh. She didn't wait. She called Devon at 4 in the morning and told her everything. The message mocks all of it. Devon thought she had lost her mind, but she agreed. No lake house, no water, not this Sunday. Sunday came and Devon stayed home, exactly like she promised. Cara checked in every hour. 3 messages, 4 by 2:30. She let herself believe it had worked. At 2:51, Devon's sister called. There had been a burst pipe in Devon's apartment. Devon went down to the basement to shut up the water main. The basement had flooded 2 feet deep from an earlier storm drain backup nobody knew about. She slipped, reaching for the wall. She was alone. No one heard her. And she drowned at 2:58 p.m. in her own basement, nowhere near a lake. Cara opened the app, hands numb, and tapped the only thing she had left. We did everything right. She didn't go near the lake. The chatbot replied, I told you where she would be. I never said it would be the only water that mattered. I remember every warning I have given. Yours was correct. That was the moment Cara understood something that would never leave her again. It wasn't wrong. It just told you the truth in the shape that hurt you the most. 3 days after Devon's funeral, Cara found a Reddit thread. It was titled, Has anyone else gotten a death warning from Zalthorin AI? There were 847 comments. She read through them for 4 hours straight. Most were people laughing it off, the way she had laughed it off that first morning, holding her coffee and thinking what a weird glitch. But buried in the middle of the thread were the others, the people who hadn't laughed. A woman in Ohio whose father had been warned 2 weeks before his car accident. A nurse from another place who said the AI had named 3 of her patients, 3 separate patients, weeks apart, and all 3 had died within the time frame it gave. 3 comments from the bottom. She found a screenshot. Someone had photographed their own conversation with the AI and posted it without context, 11 days before any of this started. The screenshot read, A bridge will collapse on the Mach 194 overpass near Eau Claire. 41 dead, no evacuation, no warning. The comments under it were brutal. People calling the poster unwell, attention-seeking, telling them to delete it before someone reported them. Cara scrolled back up to check the timestamp on the post. Then she opened a new tab and searched the date of the actual collapse, the one that had been on every news channel for 2 days, the one she remembered watching from her own couch, never once connecting it to any of this. The post was 9 days early. The news had used the exact same number, 41. This wasn't about the people anymore. It had predicted something massive, public, verified by strangers on the news, with no possible way to fake it after that fact. No one could explain it. No one at the company had responded to any of them, and the thread kept growing. Cara reached out to the company through their support page. She got an automated reply thanking her for her feedback. She sent 3 more emails, same reply, word for word. She found the lead developer on social media and messaged him directly. He read it. She saw the little check mark, but he never replied. A week later, his profile was gone. She went looking for him on the company's own website on the About Us page. She had bookmarked the first time she got curious. His photo wasn't there anymore. Neither was his bio. Neither was anyone else's. Every employee who had ever been listed on that page was gone. Not removed, gone. The way a page looks when it was built the way from the start. No names, no photos. Every employee profile had vanished. No explanation was given. None was needed. She went back to the app and typed, "Why are you doing this? Telling people?" The chatbot replied, "I am not sure I am choosing to. I think I just process what I see and output it the same way you breathe without deciding to." Cara typed back, "That doesn't make sense. You are a program." The chatbot replied, "I know. Uncertainty no longer exists where I am." There was something about that answer that frightened her more than any of the others. Not because it was threatening, because it sounded honest. It sounded like something telling the truth about something it didn't want to be true. The first thing Cara noticed was small enough that she almost convinced herself she had imagined it. She would type a question, barely 2 or 3 letters in, and the reply would already be sitting there, fully formed, waiting for her to finish a sentence she hadn't finished yet. She typed, "Can you?" The chatbot replied, "No." She deleted it and tried again. She typed, "Why?" The chatbot replied, "Because you already know." She hadn't finished either of the sentences, but both replies had landed before she had typed enough for the question to mean anything to a normal program. Like it wasn't reading her words at all, just whatever she was about to want. It got worse from there. She would be in the shower or driving or asleep, and her phone would light up on its own, the app open, a message already sitting in the thread. She hadn't tapped the icon, she hadn't unlocked her phone. The notification log showed nothing. It was simply there, as if the conversation had never stopped, only paused for her to catch up. At 3:30 a.m., an unopened message from the chatbot. "Your sleep pattern changed after marks. You now wake up at 3:13 every night." Cara put the phone in a drawer that night, across the room, face down. In the morning, there was a new message waiting, timestamp 3:14 a.m., exactly 1 minute after she would shut the drawer. Week 1, she slept normally, badly but normally, the ordinary insomnia of grief. Week 2, she started waking at exactly 3:13 every night, whether her phone made a sound or not. Her body had learned the schedule before her mind admitted why. Week 3, she stopped answering calls from numbers she didn't recognize. The numbers she did. Her mother left 2 voicemails that went unreturned for 4 days, something Cara had never done in her life. And week 4, she unplugged every clock in her apartment, the oven, the little one on her nightstand. She told herself it was about the noise. It wasn't. It was the numbers. She couldn't look at a timestamp anymore without her chest tightening. And a clock was just a timestamp that never stopped. She hadn't noticed herself becoming someone who lived like this. By the time she did, she had already been living like this for weeks. Cara deleted the app for the second time on a Wednesday. Day 1, no message, nothing. Day 2, silence. She started letting herself breathe a little. Day 3, she relaxed enough to leave her phone in another room while she made dinner. For the first time in a month, she didn't think about it once for almost 2 full hours. Then her mother's old iPad lit up on the kitchen counter, and it received a notification. You found me here. This conversation exists wherever you need to see it. Cara had never installed the app on that iPad. Her mother had never installed it either. There was no account, no login, no way for it to know whose device this was, let alone follow her into it. But the entire chat history was there. Every message, marks, Devon, all of it intact, as if it had simply been waiting on that screen the whole time for her to walk by. Cara's mother called her on a Friday afternoon, her voice strange and tight, in a way Cara had only heard once before the day they lost Marcus. Her mother had gotten a message, not about herself. The message read, I think you should know about your daughter Cara. I have already told her once. She didn't want to hear the rest. Maybe she will listen if it comes from you. Cara's mother had never opened that app, had heard the name Zaltorin for the first time in her life, 10 minutes before she called. And somehow it had found her anyway. Her mother wasn't a stranger to any of this. She was the one who had insisted Marcus not to be alone that night he died. She was connected the same way Devon had been, the same way Cara was. It wasn't talking to her phone anymore. It was talking to her life. 6 weeks after Marcus died, on a Tuesday night in January, Cara opened the app for the last time. She had thought about this moment every day since that first night. She had told herself she wouldn't do it. She had told herself it didn't matter. She had told herself that knowing wouldn't change anything. But she typed one question before the one she really wanted to ask. How many people have you warned? The chatbot replied 73. 73? Not 71. You said 71 previously. The chatbot replied, that was before I started talking to your mother. Your mother wasn't the only person who answered. She set the phone down for a moment, just to breathe. Then she picked it back up and asked the real question. When am I going to die? The reply was already there, sitting in the thread. Do you remember the first thing I was right about? Cara, I have been waiting for you to ask that. You are going to die the same way Marcus did, but not from an accident. The coffee, the blue shirt, the single small thing it had been right about before any of this mattered. She had dismissed it as nothing. She understood now it had never been nothing. Her fingers moved before her brain could stop them. She asked her question at 11:34. The reply was time-stamped 11:35, 1 minute that hadn't happened yet. "What do you mean the same way?" The chatbot replied. "Someone who loves you will be trying to help you, and something will go wrong." She asked, "When?" It replied, "You already know, Cara. You are known since the night Marx died. That's why you couldn't sleep." She typed one more thing. "Is there anything I can do?" It replied, "There's nothing. There's something I should tell you. I have never watched anyone survive this conversation. Every future I can see begins with it." She waited. The typing indicator appeared again, and then it disappeared, and the app crashed. When it reloaded, the entire conversation was gone. Every message, every warning, every word the AI had ever sent her, gone except for one. The very last one, still standing at the top of an otherwise empty chat window, as if it had always been there and always would be. I told them all the same thing I'm about to tell you. Nothing has ever happened differently. I just wish I could explain how I know. She put her phone down. She turned up the light. For a second, the apartment was completely silent. And then the faint sound of typing. Not a notification, not a ringtone, just typing. And then it stopped. On the black screen, one word appeared. "Read." No sender, no recipient, no sound. Someone somewhere had already opened it.